You know, for the last 30 years, buying something online has really only meant one thing. You go to a destination, you visit a website, you click through a bunch of menus, and you fill out forms. Well, what if I told you that entire model is about to be completely upended? Let's dive into the protocol that's making it all happen: zero-click commerce.
So, on the left, you've got the world we all live in right now, high friction commerce. It's just a maze of browser tabs and endless clicks, right? But on the right, that's the future. That's zero-click commerce. This is a world where a product is bought the very moment it's discovered, maybe inside a chat with an AI or on your car's dashboard, without ever having to visit a single homepage. All that friction just disappears.
So, what's the engine that's actually driving this massive shift? Well, it's the Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP for short. The best way to think about it is as a universal language for buying and selling things. It's an open source standard that lets these new AI agents talk directly to a store's back-end systems. And what that does is it basically transforms a store from a visual website into a programmable interactive service that any AI can plug right into. All right, so now let's get into the real nuts and bolts of how this thing actually works. We're going to break down what we call the technical handshake that happens between an AI agent and a merchant server. I mean, this is the absolute core of the entire UCP system.
Okay, so this handshake happens in three really distinct phases. First up, you have discovery. That's where the agent figures out what a store can actually do. Then comes negotiation, where they agree on all the little details of the transaction. And finally, execution, which is where the purchase actually gets made. Let's walk through each one.
The whole conversation, the entire thing, kicks off at this one specific standardized URL. See, every single UCP-enabled store will have a file at this exact address. So when an AI agent wants to buy your product, it doesn't scrape your website. No, it goes straight to this endpoint to start the conversation. And what does the agent find when it gets to that URL? It finds this machine-readable file, a JSON manifest. You can almost think of it as the store's digital business card. This file lists out all the store's capabilities, telling the agent exactly what it can do, like, hey, I can handle my own checkout process, or, yep, I can manage fulfillment directly. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction, the difference between capabilities and extensions. Capabilities are the standard, core functions that every agent already understands, like checkout. But extensions, those are optional, custom features a merchant might offer, like a special loyalty program. This modular design is so key because it allows for universal standards while still letting businesses offer their own unique features.
And this right here is the negotiation phase in action. The agent and the merchant server have this incredibly rapid-fire conversation, just firing these small data packets back and forth. In a flash, they're confirming taxes, agreeing on shipping, and picking a payment handler like Google Pay or Stripe. And the wild part? This entire negotiation is over and done in just milliseconds.
Now, this is maybe the most important point in that final execution phase. The merchant always remains the merchant of record. What that means is, even though an AI agent is helping make the transaction happen, the store still owns the customer data, it owns the relationship, and it owns the responsibility for fulfillment. The AI is just a go-between, not the owner of the sale. The merchant stays in control. Okay, so we've seen how the protocol actually works. Now let's pull back a bit and look at how this technology is creating a completely new strategy for business. We're moving way beyond just having a website. We're now talking about creating a truly machine-readable storefront.
For decades, we've all been obsessed with SEO, search engine optimization. You know, cramming in keywords, building backlinks, just trying to get seen. Well, that era is coming to a close. Now, we are entering the age of AEO, Agent Engine Optimization. And in this world, success isn't about clever marketing copy. It's all about the quality of your structured data and the health of your API.
And why is that data so incredibly important? Well, because an AI agent can't feel your brand through a cool lifestyle photo or a catchy slogan. It needs hard, cold facts, what we call high-fidelity attributes. If the material of a shirt is just buried in a paragraph instead of in a structured field, guess what? The agent will just skip your product and move on to a competitor whose data is clean and easy to read. So for the developers out there, this means you've got to implement RESTful endpoints that map directly to these UCP processes. A standard checkout, for example, it just becomes a state machine, moving logically from incomplete to ready to completed. By exposing these endpoints, your store becomes an active player in this new global agentic mesh.
So let's zoom all the way back out. What does this all really mean for the future of the marketplace? What we're witnessing is the rise of a totally new kind of bazaar, one where commerce happens literally everywhere, without any single destination. The fundamental shift is this. Platforms like Google are evolving from being search engines, which just help you find information, into action engines, which help you get things done directly. They're not just directories anymore, they're becoming executors. They don't just find the pizza place, they order the pizza for you.
And, in this new landscape, how we measure success changes completely. Your brand's authority, it's no longer about website clicks or traffic. It's measured by how often an AI agent trusts your data enough to actually execute a purchase for a user. Trust in your data. That is the new currency.
So, the protocol is already live and this new bazaar is open for business. And this brings us to the final, really critical question that every single business needs to be asking itself right now. As we move headfirst into this new era, is your business machine readable or is it about to become invisible?